Hi everyone, welcome back to We Students. This is our first episode of the car series. We asked you to send us some questions and today we're going to answer them to the best of our abilities.
So these questions were sent in on TikTok, but mostly Instagram because that's where our followers are more active. So let's get into the questions. The first question from Instagram is, what are the most difficult subjects in your opinion? You can go first.
Let me think. Physics. Physics, guys, is the most. After that comes like math, HL, which I don't have, but I'm guessing it's really hard.
I would think that HL, math, and physics and chemistry are the hardest. Like those three. Other than that, what else is hard? I feel like it depends on the person, because if you're more of a person that's like good with memorizing information, then maybe history wouldn't be hard, or like psychology. For me, I dropped history because I'm not the type of person that can memorize things. So like it was really hard. Psychology is like as hard, but it's kind of more logical in my opinion. Like I feel like you can remember the information easier because there's less of it. So I guess it really depends what kind of person you are.
Unless you're a physics professional, physics is going to be really hard.
Okay, the second question is, if you're taking psychology, what is the best way to prepare for summative? Okay, so she can help me answer this. She doesn't take psychology, but she helps me like study. What I do is for the actual summatives, because you already have like the SAQ or ERQ you're gonna be tested on. I write down like the terms that I need to know, like the definitions, and then the studies. I do the aim, method, procedure, results, and conclusion
Evaluation.
and evaluation. I put them in a Quizlet, and then I get her to question me until I get it right. And then for the like official papers, I'm planning on doing the same thing. So that's like the only way you can really study for psychology. In DP1, you also have a few summatives that are like unit based, which is just like content. Those you just have to like revise your notes. There's really nothing else to it. Personally, I use Quizlet or Gizmo and do active recall. And then sometimes like a day before the test, if I feel like I know the studies and the terms well, I'll ask ChatGPT or like Revision Dojo to quiz me and make me a like test. And then I do multiple choice or whatever, and I try to like to write the ERQs by themselves so that I feel more confident in the fact that I know them.
Okay, so another question is cheating tips and tricks.
Well,
Don't cheat, guys. Just study for the exams.
it's really not worth it in IB. Like, first of all, I've tried cheating and I've backed out every single time because of the pure stress I feel from getting caught. Like, it's not worth failing the whole IB diploma just to cheat on one test. Like, it's better if you fail the test and then you study for the next one, or if you fail it and ask your teacher for like a redo or some kind of like way to get those points back.
For me, I cheated my first year of high school. We weren't in IB yet. I cheated with an Apple Watch. The teacher caught me and she let me continue the test. And then somehow she opened the lock screen of the Apple Watch, all the answers to the test. So I've never cheated since. And I'm really stressed when I cheat as well. Like I start shaking, so I'd rather just study at home or just do nothing on the test than cheat.
The last time I've like tried cheating is when my whole class cheated together for Spanish. We I don't know, our teacher was so nice and we kind of took advantage of it. We told her that we have to post for Be Real in order to get money or points on the app. And then we all put the test into Be Real and like we shared the answers with each other. And
That's so mean. That's so
I
mean.
felt so bad. And also all of us got like threes and fours. Maximum fives.
So no one in the class knew
Yes,
the
because
answers.
no, because we didn't even think to like open our phones to cheat on Google Translate. We just like screenshotted what we already have, but we knew nothing from Spanish, so we all just shared the wrong answers to each other. It was so bad.
Oh, that's what you get. So next question is, which TOK prompt did you pick and why? You start.
I picked the fourth prompt, which was like about ever-changing tools and improved knowledge. From the moment that I read all of the six titles, that was the only prompt that I actually understood.
I think there was 5.
How many ever there were, that was the only one that I understood. All of the other ones seemed like too complicated, and that one was the most like straightforward. You didn't need to like kind of think about the answer. And I felt like I feel like at that time there was a lot of things happening in like the world that I felt could apply. So for example, like the hurricanes in America were happening, and I used that as one of my examples. So it was just easiest, and I had like the most to say about it.
For me, I picked the first one. The first one I read. No, I'm joking. I picked the first one because um
Bro read it and said, "Okay, fine."
no, because Miss Elena said Miss Elena said that was her most favorite one, so I just picked that one. I had other reasons for picking it as well. Mine was something about the ethical considerations of scientists, I think, and historians when sharing like
Bro, you guys know the prompt.
all
It's
the
okay.
contradictory evidence, whatever, I don't remember it that well. And so I personally, my personal opinion was that they have an ethical obligation to do that, uh, just to be transparent to the public. I don't remember my examples. I can't be asked now. I wrote it by myself though.
I think if there's anything in your IB DP like 1 and 2 years that you should not use ChatGPT for, it's TOK, like the essay especially, because it's it doesn't give you good examples and it doesn't explain how they like connect to your prompt. When I put in my examples into ChatGPT for it to tell me whether it's good, like to evaluate them, whether they match the prompt, it like completely didn't understand the prompt, and it changed the way that I would use the examples like to a very illogical way. And then when I showed them to my teacher, he said they were really good for the prompt, like that the title completely matched the examples and that it was a really good selection of examples. So I would say definitely don't try to do that. Write it yourself. Okay, the next question is, I'm going into DP next year. Is extended essay similar to the personal project? No.
What?
No. I mean,
How is it similar?
like
Did you
it's
write for personal project?
we wrote a report, babes. Like it's not similar in terms of the outline and the structure, but it's similar in terms of you choose what you write about. It's like supposed to be your own interest.
It's not similar, guys. Its personal project was talking about the process of something that you made. Extended essay is just researching a topic that you're passionate about, and it has nothing to do with like process.
Put it back now.
Okay, we're back, guys.
In my perspective, it was similar because my personal project was all about research. Like, my personal project was me writing a book based on research. So to me, the process of writing the product for personal project was similar to writing the extended essay. But in terms of like the final report and the final essay, it's very different because it's like she said, one is like a process portfolio or like an evaluation, and the other is just an essay on a specific topic.
The next question. As a younger student, I wanted to ask how hard is IB and is AP better? AP is not better. No, I don't know. I've taken two AP courses in my life, both of which I failed. But to my defense, they were art, which I didn't have any time for, and calculus, which I had no, like, I wasn't familiar with at all. I don't think IB is hard in terms of like the material that we learn, especially if you don't take physics. However, I think it would be really hard if you're not a person who's organized, who manages their time correctly, because that's what IB is all about. Because the workload is college level, whereas the material, I think, if you're a person who studies, I think you can learn it and do good manage.
AP is definitely easier. I've taken three APs. I took AP US Government and Politics, AP US History, and AP Psychology, and I got fours and fives, but they were really similar to what we were already studying. Like for all of my APs, it was like one part was multiple choice, and then the other part was like two or three longer responses, and that was so much easier compared to, for example, the IB Psychology exams and the papers. So I think it's definitely easier to take AP, but the question itself mentions that the person who asked this question is from our school. Our school doesn't offer AP except if it's self-study. So what I would say is definitely in that like area, IB is better because you actually have teachers who help you learn the material, and you also have quizzes and tests to practice learning it. So I would say IB is definitely the way to go, but AP would have been easier if you were like in America or something. And I hate AP students who say that their life is so hard because you have a 1 year like test. We're tested on 2 years of material. They have only for 1 year.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, so they only have AP fourth year of high school?
They take different subjects. For example, like you would take AP, three AP exams on 1 year, three AP in the other year. Or usually they don't take. They have like for example math, English, blah blah, and then AP psychology. So they have only one actual exam for APs,
Crazy.
and they can take it whenever. Um, Now we're moving on to the TikTok questions. How do you plan your schedule for studying? Because I always have trouble deciding what to study and end up fixating on only one subject, math.
How we plan our studying is we put everything in Google Calendar. I share my schedule with her, she shares it with me. Whatever we study together, we put it at the same time slot. We kind of estimate how much time we need for everything. I sometimes leave extra time for like for subjects in which I may need more time. I put like a slot in Google Calendar saying extra time. So that if I don't do everything on time, I have that one slot in order for me not to stress about it. We also put all of them on a Google Doc by unit and by which week of studying we have to finish each unit and the revisions. And that way we ensure that we're organized and stress free for the mocks.
What she meant by like saving more time for some units. For example, we have the mocks coming up now in 2 weeks, and because we need to focus less on English and Albanian or Macedonian because we don't really have that much to study for them, we have them like 2 days before the exam, like the Google Calendar things. For biology and for physics, we have them, like you said, by units. So, for example, I have to do B3 and B4 today for like 2 hours because I'm going through my notes and then doing past papers on Revision Dojo. And then I have the same thing if I, because every day after school, we go to public room, which is like this cafe that's specifically for studying where like everyone in our town studies. And we stay there for like at least 4 hours, and it's so sad. We were yesterday on a Friday night there, for from 4 to like 8.
Today after this, it's a Saturday, we're going there as well.
And we wake up at 10 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays with the aim of going there from 11 to like 5. And we talk about this more in our vlog a day. Oh my god, I knew it was gonna happen soon, please. Oh, oh my god! Sometimes when I don't know what I'm supposed to study, if I have like everything planned out until 3 p.m. and then I have a 2 hour time slot where I know that we're gonna be in public room, but I don't know what I need to study, I write something, anything, and then I know that for the next 2 hours, whatever I feel like studying or whatever I think I have the most of left, like I have little time, that's what I just study.
So the next question from a non-follower
Okay, calm down, guys.
is I'm debating between continuing with IB or switching to AP. I don't want to go abroad. If so, the UK. I also heard that IB wasn't worth it for uni. So let me explain like this. You need AP for America and IB for Europe, mostly. You can do IB for America as well. However, if you don't want to do IB, AP is not that good for like Europe, right?
I mean, look, for UCAS, they have like a tariff points since they mentioned that if they went abroad, they would go to the UK. Um, UCAS does have tariff points where they do technically accept AP. It's just that getting an AP like 5 would be much harder than getting a normal high school diploma with a 5, which would give you the same standing in the UK, like in terms of abroad. So if I don't know if the school offers AP, I'm guessing that it's an American-based system,
Yeah.
so they might be from the US. If you are watching this, if anyone is in the US, then I would definitely recommend either just a normal American diploma or a normal AP diploma. Either way, if you're staying in your country, doing whatever your country has like as the basic level diploma
I
for
think it would be
Macedonia to be
fine.
the state matura, it would be much better than doing IB because then you're just doing extra work for nothing. And then AP is again much easier, so you would probably not have a problem. It would probably be around the same level as your like state examinations.
If you go to UK as well, I don't think like we're both applying to the UK.
Applied.
Applied. Her boyfriend also applied to the UK with the state matura. He's not doing IB, and he got accepted into most of them.
He got accepted to more colleges than we have so far, so that speaks volumes.
So you don't need IB for Europe, unless you're going to a really good university. I think you don't really need IB.
To be honest, if since I was for like 3 years, I was trying to go to America, and then my fourth year, I kind of switched to more to London. Um, I I think that I wasted a lot of my time and energy on studying IB. I'm not saying that I would drop it just because I feel like I'm the type of person who I need the validation of actually going through with the diploma. Like I can't stand just settling for that sounds so mean. If I got fives in state matura, it would mean nothing to me because I knew that I could have done better. So I would still choose to go with the diploma. But I think that anyone else who's applying to like UK or Europe in general could have gotten into the same schools that they did with the IB by getting like fives in our state matura, and it would have been easier for them.
Yeah, and I think do the IB if you really want to challenge yourself and kind of like improve your time managing skills, your discipline for studying and whatever. Just do it for that, like for personal reasons. Don't do it for college because at the end of the day, you're gonna get accepted no matter what. Like if you study, you're gonna get accepted 100%.
My brother is like the perfect example of this because he went to Greece. He didn't know where he wanted to study until like he already graduated, and Greece is really close to us, so it was like perfect for him. And he got accepted with like minimum requirements. So there's people he studies with that have taken the IB and have like been 1 point away from failing it, and he got a really good IB score. He got like 38 or something. Um, and he's so ahead of everyone in his college. Like they were supposed to write a 1,000 word essay with like his with in groups, so like 200 words per person within a week. And his friends were struggling to do this. Not friends, but his like classmates were struggling to do this. So if you take the IB, even if you go to a school that like you could have gotten in with fewer requirements, it's gonna be like such a head start for you. So either way, you don't lose anything by taking the IB except like a bit of your sanity
A lot of your sanity.
and a lot of sleep. But in terms of like academics, you don't lose anything, even if you don't have like sevens and sixes, even if you have fives. That motivation, if you like don't lose it, then you're gonna still have like advantages in college. What do you do if you fail? Can you redo, and how does that affect your overall uni entrance? This is for the IB. If you fail,
Good luck.
it's game over. No.
No. If you fail, you just redo it. I had a friend last year. She failed math by 1 point and she came back the next year to redo it. However, luckily for her, she could still get into the uni she wanted to because she's going to Germany. So they don't really care about the IB diploma there. She had the state matura grades. That's all that mattered to her. However, she still wanted to have that validation of like having the IB diploma. So she came back and did it, and that was that. There's also a possibility of taking a gap year.
Yeah. And also in general, like how her friend redid it, you can take the redo if you do the exams in May, and that's the ones you fail. You can do the November exams that are like, for example, for people in like different systems where like their year is different than that of the European, like in Australia, for example, or New Zealand. So you can redo it, and if you fail, it depends whether you've gotten a conditional or unconditional offer. For the UK, if you send in that you fail, then you don't get into your college. But you can take a gap year and then apply the next year, or you can maybe contact your college and see what they would do about a redo, like for you to join the year late. But in UK, there's also like the April, like the January intakes. There's like two spaces at which you can apply to the college. So you can enter from like the September, or you can enter from I think January. There's like two
Oh, I
entrance.
didn't know about this.
Yeah, there's two entrance terms. and then you apply in April, I think, for January. So again, you could just push your year, and it would be a bit different than what you're used to, but it's better than nothing. So like you'd still get into university by some chances, but it would just be
Delayed.
delayed and complicated. And then if you fail again, at that point, university might not be the option for you.
Just be a barber, bro. It's fine.
At that point, just do a podcast.
Okay, so do we end it here? So that's it for today's podcast and car series video. We'll see you on Sunday.
um, if you haven't already, check out our TikTok. We will be posting in around a week or so a like Google Drive folder with past papers from Revision Dojo, Save My Exams, and Revision Village, as well as all of our notes for different classes.
And we're posting that to followers only. So
That's why
follow us.
follow us. And after we post that, we'll also post a video next Sunday on how we actually use these sources and a step-by-step procedure for studying for all of the different papers for your exams.
Thank you for watching.
Bye!